The life of an explorer can be as frustrating as it is exciting. Many can go their whole careers without making a real discovery. But then again, technology has gone a long way towards helping us learn more about the hardest-to-reach places on our planet. It can come as a surprise when you consider how much of our planet is yet to be discovered, not to mention the universe outside of the little blue and green ball we call home. For most earthbound explorers, the deep depths of our oceans are the ultimate destination for finding long-hidden treasures and secrets of all shapes and sizes. It was this thirst for discovery that sent the intrepid explorers in the following story to the dangerous depths of the ocean, and this same curiosity that kept them coming back for more. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. When Peter Lindbergh, Dennis Osberg, and their Swedish Ocean X diving team set off on their voyage in June 2011, they never expected to find something that would change their lives forever. They were treasure hunting deep in the northern Baltic Sea, 300 feet down in the middle of the Gulf of Bothnia. Their goal was to find the remains of an ancient shipwreck. An absurd electronic beeping sound broke through the silent, murky water and surprised the whole team as their eyes were peeled for glints of gold or signs of man-made shapes and artifacts. It turned out that the beeping sound that had surprised the brave divers was actually coming from their own sonar equipment. The screens of their instruments were glowing in the dark, alight with a strange image that the sonar had picked up on the seabed beneath where the divers were floating. The mysterious scene displayed by the equipment stunned the divers. At first glance, it appeared that they had stumbled upon some sort of enormous mountainous structure encircled with rock. The team quickly recognized the rocky, alien-looking landscape to be made of nothing more than the natural solidifying of molten rock, stones, and sand. However, what caught their eyes wasn't at the murky depths of this underwater valley, but just a few feet from where they were floating. As the divers approached the object, they became more excited, confused, and intrigued. What they saw beneath them looked like nothing that could ever have occurred naturally. His theory was soon proven correct, but the exact identity of this elusive discovery was harder to reveal. In fact, the divers were at a complete loss for what they had discovered. Experienced explorers are unlikely to consider the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement when coming across something unexplainable, unless they can think of no other more earthbound ideas. This was, of course, true for Asberg, Lindbergh, and their team, who were quick to provide some logical explanations for their discovery. They knew they risked ridicule from the scientific community if they went public with a theory that the find was from outer space and built by an alien race. But they also had a feeling that there was something special about what they had found. Perhaps the Ocean X team suggested the find was an unusual submarine that had laid dormant since World War II. Or maybe it was one of the barrels of a long-sunk battleship's gun. Whenever they reviewed the hazy sonar image from their first dive, something about the explanations just didn't add up. The mysterious object remained an enigma. The discovery was a massive cylindrical structure, about 200 feet in diameter. The sonar scan revealed strange rivets and markings across its surface, but the grainy image made it impossible to draw firm conclusions. A year later, determined to uncover the truth, the team planned a second expedition. This time, they brought advanced equipment to capture clearer images and pinpoint the object's origins. "It could be something really awesome that we've found," Asberg said optimistically. Lindbergh, Ansberg, and the crew sourced cutting-edge technology, confident it would provide new insights. But what happened next would leave the scientific community puzzled for years. As they approached the dive site, they quickly found the object's location. However, their excitement turned to frustration as their equipment started to fail. Everything functioned perfectly in practice, but as soon as they neared the object, their technology experienced unexplained malfunctions. Cameras cut out, sonar flickered, and no images could be captured. "Anything electric out there stopped working when we were above the object," diver Stefan Hogerborn reported. This phenomenon raised intriguing questions. Could the object be emitting an electromagnetic pulse, EMP, disrupting their technology? Whatever the cause, the team was completely stumped. Then, an unexpected twist. Their sonar images were leaked online. Despite Lindbergh and Asberg's efforts to keep the discovery confidential, the internet quickly seized upon the mystery. Interest in the find skyrocketed, but so did the outlandish theories. Science fiction fans dominated discussions, offering their own conclusions. "Yeah, definitely the Millennium Falcon," one Star Wars fan joked in an online news thread. While the comparison was absurd, the object's uncanny shape made it difficult to dismiss entirely. Was this a case of too many wild theories diluting the investigation? Or could there be merit to some ideas from the general public? Despite the mockery, the world eagerly awaited more details. The most perplexing aspect of the discovery wasn't just its vast size or odd shape, it was the fact that it appeared to be made of metal. How did a massive metal object end up at the bottom of the sea? The notion of an unnatural metallic structure buried deep in the ocean bed ignited UFO speculation. Could it be something extraterrestrial? While many dismissed the idea as pure fantasy, the object's strange properties left room for speculation. After all, how many alien encounters in movies ever turn out to be peaceful, family-friendly affairs like E.T.? With more questions than answers, the team remained determined to uncover the truth. So in order to get to the bottom of the mystery and put any worries to rest, the Ocean X team enlisted the help of expert scientists. One scientist who commented on the discovery was Charles Paul, a marine geologist, who dismissed the grainy sonar image as sediment from a fish trawler, a school of fish, or an odd pile of rocks. He called the spaceship theory curious and fun, but much ado about nothing. Jonathan Hill from the Mars Spaceflight Facility questioned Lindbergh and Asberg's motives. Whenever people make extraordinary claims, it's always a good idea to consider whether they are personally benefiting from the claim. Could the Ocean X team have exaggerated the find and the malfunctions to generate interest and funding? However, not all scientists dismissed the discovery. Geologist Steve Weiner's tests suggested the structure was not a natural geological formation. Though he couldn't identify it, he went as far as to say it contained metals which nature could not reproduce itself. This fueled speculation that the object was not natural, sparking theories of human or extraterrestrial involvement. Encouraged by Weiner's support, Lindbergh pushed for a return expedition in 2019. This time, the team brought a camera crew, hoping a TV documentary would provide the funding needed to continue their research. For now, they could only conclude one thing. There's something we do not usually find in nature sitting in the depths of the Baltic Sea, Lindbergh stated. Though proving its origin remains impossible, explorers and theorists alike know that the search for answers is often the most fascinating part of discovery, and with renewed excitement, the team was eager to return. Time was of the essence. The Baltic Sea was a hub for deep-sea exploration, and Lindbergh knew that if they didn't act fast, others might reach their find first. Meanwhile, Swedish archaeologist Jim Hansen from the Stockholm Maritime Museum received an unexpected call from construction workers about another rare discovery beneath the water. Could this be another alien spacecraft, an ancient war relic, or something far more ordinary? For the construction crew in Stockholm, it had been an average day until they stumbled upon something buried deep in the earth. Like the Ocean X team, they couldn't determine what it was. The structure appeared to be made of ancient wood. It was time to bring in experts. Hansen was intrigued, especially given the location. Skeps-Holman Island, a small landmass between Stockholm and the Baltic Sea. Today, it's a popular tourist attraction, but its history runs far deeper. In the past, Skeps-Holman served as a strategic military base, a crucial waypoint for Swedish troops and supplies. It played a vital role in defending the capital against invasion. Hansen immediately launched a thorough inspection of the site. The wooden beams had remained remarkably intact, and he suspected they had uncovered something significant. Could these remains belong to an ancient ship, or were they part of a forgotten structure on the island? Hansen's mind raced back to another recent discovery. Months earlier, he had led an expedition along Sweden's southern coast, diving into treacherous waters in search of historical wrecks. One dive, in particular, proved momentous. Deep in the dark abyss, Hansen and his team became the first humans in centuries to lay eyes on the Great Blekinge, a mighty battleship from the late 1600s, built during Sweden's war with Russia and Denmark. But how did this relate to the recent find on Skeps-Holman? Had Hansen struck gold twice, uncovering the remains of two legendary battleships? Or was this latest discovery something far less extraordinary? Hansen soon uncovered an ancient wooden object, reinforcing his theory. He believed it was part of a long-sunken battleship, possibly one of Sweden's most significant historical vessels. His team eagerly began their work, digging deep into the muddy pit in Stockholm, determined to uncover its secrets. The excavation soon revealed much of the wooden structure, and Hansen quickly analyzed the best-preserved timbers. Prominent axe marks indicated that the wood had been expertly cut and assembled by hand, confirming its human construction. To minimize damage, a small sample of the wood was sent for lab testing. The results would determine the vessel's age, shedding light on when it was built and how long it had remained buried. The team anxiously awaited confirmation. The findings suggested the ship was constructed in the years following. Fortunately, the Maritime Museum had detailed records of Sweden's major vessels from that period, bringing them closer to identifying the ship's origins. Additional clues, including a beautifully crafted copper plate found at the site, pointed to a remarkable conclusion. The vessel was none other than the Scepter, the flagship of Sweden's most celebrated monarch. This ship had belonged to King Gustav II Adolf the Great, a brilliant tactician who helped elevate Sweden to a European power in the 17th century. Records showed the Scepter was intended to lead a fleet to Latvia, but never completed the journey. Damaged by a violent storm near the Baltic coast, the ship was forced to return to Sweden. From then on, it never set sail on a major voyage again. But why had it ended up buried beneath a small island in Stockholm? The team was eager to uncover the final chapter of its story. Curiously, no historical records mentioned a shipwreck at Skeps-Holman. However, Hansen had a theory, one that explained the ship's fate. He believed the Scepter had been deliberately sunk. At the time, it was common practice for the Swedish Navy to scuttle old ships to serve as foundations for new shipyards. Some experts wanted to restore the Scepter to its former glory, much like the legendary Vasa, a 17th century warship that underwent extensive restoration and is now a major museum attraction. Given the Scepter's historical significance, many believed it should follow suit. However, there was uncertainty about whether enough of the ship remained intact for a full restoration. With this in mind, some were disappointed that restoring the Scepter seemed unlikely. Despite Hansen's hopes, the ship's condition might not allow for a complete reassembly. Still, its discovery provided valuable insights into Sweden's naval history. The Scepter offered a crucial link in understanding shipbuilding evolution, shedding light on the progression of engineering and maritime tactics. As history has shown, the significance of such discoveries often extends beyond the artifact itself. This find could lead to even more remarkable revelations about Sweden's past and its forgotten vessels. With this in mind, what other secrets might Hansen uncover next? Followers of history eagerly await the next groundbreaking discovery hidden beneath the Baltic Sea.